So is it really that simple? Just slap a graphics card into an office PC and it can game? Let's find out. These little office PCs have a surprisingly clean design, and they're super cheap these days. You can often get the whole machine for less than a new stick of RAM. They're already pretty popular for home labs, but I think we can slap a graphics card in and convert this machine into a compact, budget gaming PC too. Although there are no super powerful graphics cards that can fit inside this PC, the one I have here might be our best hope to play some games on it. The GPU I'm using is a Yeston RTX 3050 6GB low profile. It costs around $260 on Amazon, which isn't super cheap compared to a used graphics card, but it's probably the cheapest new RTX card you can get at this price. Today, we find out, can a simple GPU upgrade turn an office PC into a real gaming PC? Oh no, look at this. Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 1080p medium achieves around 20 FPS, and the GPU temp hits 90 degrees Celsius. I can't say this PC can game at all. And the GPU definitely won't last long like this. The tiny gap between the GPU and the PSU ruins all hope. It completely blocks the airflow, making it unable to breathe at all. So the first attempt is a complete fail. Should I just give up here? Not yet. I'm not giving up that easily. It made me think back to that NVIDIA Tesla P4 DIY fan mod, where we turned an unsupported data center card into a totally playable 1080p gaming machine on Bazzite OS. So, what if we do something similar with this Yeston RTX 3050 low profile? There are Dell Optiplex Micro PC CPU cooler replacement fans sold on AliExpress pretty cheap, around $5. This blower fan can be removed from its fan shroud, and it can be turned into so many useful things. It just needs an idea and correct execution. So for this fix, we need two things: a ventilation GPU bracket and a custom fan shroud designed specifically to fit this card. So I designed a whole new cooling solution for this GPU and 3D printed it with ASA filament to ensure the new cooler can withstand the heat from the GPU. Well, now we have everything in hand, so let's install the new cooler on this GPU. The concept of this GPU cooler mod is very simple and ensures no harm to the GPU at all. All we need to do is just remove the stock fan shroud, which doesn't require removing the heatsink, so that we don't need to worry about the GPU core inside, since we are only working from the outside. I also need to remove the GPU fan from the GPU and keep it in a safe place to make the heatsink free and protect the GPU fan so I can revert back at any time later. Alright, now let's remove the blower fan from the Dell Micro CPU cooler fan shroud. And just look at this. The stock GPU fan is ridiculously small. How is this tiny thing supposed to properly cool a 70-watt GPU? Now, let's install the CPU fan into the 3D printed fan shroud. Before we install the new GPU cooler, let's remove the stock GPU bracket and install the 3D printed ventilation GPU bracket onto the GPU. I used the cheap mini GPU to PWM adapter to plug the new blower right into the card's original header. This lets the GPU control its own thermal behavior and gives us full control inside MSI Afterburner. Alright, now let's get this 3D printed fan shroud mounted right onto the GPU. And there it is, the finished GPU fan mod all put together. Since my mini GPU to PWM fan cable adapter is too short, I need to use one more PWM extension cable. If you're interested in doing this, you can buy a long enough adapter so you don't need to use an extra cable like mine. With the GPU mod finished, it's time to work on the host system, an HP ProDesk 600 G5 SFF. In its original setup, it just can't keep up with modern games, so we're giving it a complete upgrade. This PC comes with a single stick of 8GB DDR4 RAM. And here I have a 512GB NVMe SSD installed. It should be enough, and there's no need to upgrade it for this time. For the CPU, I have installed an Intel Core i3-9100, so I need to upgrade the CPU. For the PSU, this PC model only comes with a fixed 180-watt PSU option, so I might need to choose a GPU to fit this PSU capacity. Time to get the CPU cooler out of the way and prepare the socket for our new CPU. The stock CPU is an Intel Core i3-9100 with 4 cores and 4 threads. The CPU that I chose for this upgrade is an Intel Core i7-9700T with 8 cores and 8 threads, and only a 35-watt TDP, so it should work with a 180-watt PSU. This PC only has a single 8GB stick right now, so let's pop in another 8GB module. That brings us to 16GB total running in dual channel mode, which gives us a nice extra boost in gaming performance. With the new CPU set, let's apply some fresh thermal compound and secure the cooler back into place. Now that the core specs are upgraded, let's lock everything back down, putting the fan shroud and SSD cage right back in place. With the platform ready, let's slot in our modded low-profile GPU. With everything assembled, let me close up the case and run some benchmarks to see how it performs. Time for the first boot. Let's turn it on. First, I want to check the GPU installation to see if it is working correctly. Now, I'm using GPU Z, and here we have an NVIDIA RTX 3050, 6GB, running at PCIe 3.0 by 8. The GPU is up and running correctly, so let's run a stress test to see whether the DIY GPU cooler mod helps. Wow, are you kidding me? Max temperatures are only 60 degrees Celsius on the core and 73 degrees Celsius on the hotspot. This custom shroud and fan setup completely fixed our thermal problem. Based on our test results, the DIY cooling mod brought the GPU temperature down to 60 degrees Celsius compared to 90 degrees Celsius with the stock cooler trapped against the power supply. That is a massive 30 degrees Celsius drop. The larger, more powerful blower fan forces significantly more air through the heatsink fins and exhausts all of the trapped heat straight out of the case. People always call me out in the comments if I skip the CPU stress test, so here it is. Since we're using a low-power 35-watt processor, the stock aluminum cooler handles it just fine. Under full CPU Z load, max temps hit 77 degrees Celsius with a PL2 peak of 92 watts. Totally safe and completely usable for daily gaming. Now for the moment of truth. Can a $5 DIY GPU fan mod actually turn this cheap SFF office PC into a legitimate gaming PC? Let's test out some games and find out. The first game I want to test is God of War Ragnarök at 1080p medium settings. I set DLSS to balanced and kept frame generation turned off. The gameplay achieves around 70 frames per second. The CPU temp is around 70 degrees Celsius, and the GPU temp is around 64 degrees Celsius. Playing God of War Ragnarök at 70 frames per second is actually very playable with smooth gameplay. There's nothing I can complain about with an old budget SFF PC. Now let's move on to Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1080p, and I set all graphics options to medium and kept DLSS and frame gen off. I'm running the built-in benchmark to get an accurate overall average FPS. This makes it easy to compare our upgraded SFF PC against other real-world gaming setups. After the gaming benchmark finished running, it showed the results. A minimum of 11 frames per second, a maximum of 100 frames per second, and an average of 64 frames per second. Next, let's try Cyberpunk 2077 at 1080p low settings with DLSS and FrameGen off. I am also using the built-in game benchmark to test this game. After the benchmark completed, it showed the gameplay achieved an average of 68 frames per second. Now, let's retry the game that struggled at just 22 frames per second while hitting 90 degrees Celsius at the start of this video. Shadow of the Tomb Raider at 1080p, medium settings with no DLSS. With our custom GPU fan mod, the game now averages a smooth 74 FPS, and the GPU temperature dropped from 90 degrees Celsius down to 64 degrees Celsius. This simple cooling mod completely saved the build, turning an unplayable thermal mess into a great gaming experience. Overall, I'm really impressed with how the results of this project turned out. A cheap $5 GPU fan mod actually saved my hope of playing games on my old SFF PC. This is proof of concept that an idea and the right execution can solve specific real-world problems. If you're interested in building something like this, I'll share the STL file for you to try and validate the functionality of this project. Please check the link in the video description. I hope you enjoyed this SFF PC upgrade and the fan mod design. Thank you for watching.